It's the Andy and Dave Daily right here on the Muskegon channel. I'm Andy O'Reilly. There's Dave Cackley back after a week of, adventure. Let's call it that.
Yes.
Whew. I'm gonna give this a try today. I'm still
Yeah.
unsure what the day's going to bring because it is early,
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Right. You never know emotionally, physically,
yeah.
mentally, psychologically what you're going to be
We're
dealing
recording
with.
this at 8:36, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe by 8:37 and 45 seconds I'll be a blubbering mess. I don't know. Yeah,
We don't know. I like the uncertainty. I'm good with uncertainty. The
unscripted.
older I get, the more like you kind of like it's unscripted.
Yep.
If you stay, what I thought about this, and I thought about this actually most of the weekend. I almost called you, but I kind of thought you just didn't want to. You were dealing with some stuff, so you just
Yeah.
didn't want to necessarily be bothered. So I'm like, I'm gonna you get back to me when you get a chance to get back to me. It's not a huge deal. But I think you feel things deeper than most people do. Your wiring is that you have empathy almost to it's like you're up to 11 with people. And it can
It's
be
crippling.
it can be a positive. Yes, it's one of those things that can be a positive and a negative simultaneously because you're able to kind of feel somebody else's pain, but then you really feel like you really take it on. It goes beyond just being able to sympathize and feel for somebody. You feel, I think you actually, in your own way, feel literally what they are feeling at the time they're feeling it.
It's
in addition to whatever you've got going on with yourself, and that
it
can be
is
like a double whammy.
it's crippling. And it's
Mm-hmm.
true. I can walk into a room full of strangers and pick out somebody that's having a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm off, which I've been off. I've been off for a while,
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm, different medicines and all this and that and the other thing, I'm really off, and it's very trying. It's not fun. And I mean, there's a physical element to all of this, right? So they got this tumor out, and I'm trying to read a
Mm-hmm.
pathology report this morning, and nothing says anything, like people, like humans can read. So I don't know what it really says yet. Um, but you know, it's now I got this hormone replacement thing I got to be on for a while, and now I got this. I look like I got shanked all down through here because there's 4 big punctures, and they're
Oh,
big.
you can
I
always say,
mean,
"Oh yeah, I got you." It's all flesh wound. Some bank was
got
getting
shanked in the
robbed.
joint.
I took some shrapnel. I'll be fine. You can
But
call me a hero.
yeah,
I
it's
just
been
doing
tough, man. This has just
my
not been a
duty.
fun run for a while. So, and
Well,
then to
you're
look
here
at Cindy.
now.
I mean, Cindy's had to worry
Yeah.
about me. She's had to worry about her mom.
Mhm.
She's had to worry about this,
Yeah.
that, and the other thing. I feel worse for her than I do myself. I really do.
It's a lot to It's a lot to bite off. I will tell you this. I had a fun time at bike time, even though I didn't get out to the what I really wanted to
Yeah,
see, which
I
was
can't
the
make the
bike.
show, so you stiff them too. Great job.
I didn't mean to stiff them. They said they had it covered, so I didn't want to step on anybody's toes. Like I was ready to be there, but I got like part of the group text that you sent me, and they said, "Don't worry about it. We got it covered." So I said, "Okay, I'll enjoy bike time." So I just went up and down
Mm-hmm.
Rebel Road there and pressed the flesh with some people, took some pictures, and um, hung out at a couple of the bars for a couple hours, and it was cool. It was a cool and I'm not a motorcycle guy, but it was a really nice, cool event
Yeah.
in Muskegon. I really
Well,
liked it.
I'll tell you one of the highlights of my thing in Mayo, the surgery, and I didn't get to spend much time with her, but I thought it was really cool. I'm a little hoarse still too because they had to do a tube, to
Mm-hmm.
breathing thing, so my throat's kind of sore. My anesthesiologist,
Mm-hmm.
she was from Iran, and I
Ooh.
could have talked to her for hours about the difference of what people are like in Iran and what we see on the news and vice versa and
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff. Fascinating. I was just drawn in like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I literally got to meet her in the room, and then see her stuff something on my face, and then on I went. So didn't really get that multicultural experience I was hoping for.
No, which is what you want at any hospital.
Oh yeah.
That's what you're going for. You're going for the experience. You're like, I'm here. I want to,
Well, dude, you're
be there
talking
with
about the Mayo
everybody.
Clinic, and you get to. I mean,
Yeah, that's the creme de la creme. It's
not
like you
not
you
meeting
still
somebody from Iran doesn't happen every
right.
day. And if you
No,
get
you're
a
not.
chance to sit down and absorb some culture from somebody that
Yeah,
isn't
absolutely.
blocked by all the bullshit news and all the slant from,
Mm.
oh, we have to hate these people. What? Why? Why do we? Why do I have to hate the average Iranian? I don't. I
I don't
have to
think
hate some
anybody
of the
hates
things that
yeah.
their politicians and some of their
Yeah.
cult
And
leaders
that's
do. Yeah.
that's a really fair point that most people on either side of the aisle can't wrap their heads around.
Right.
This whole me versus us versus them. I'm in this camp, you're in this camp. You have to agree with everything in this camp, or you're part of the other. You know what
Right.
I mean? And nobody's like that. We're all comp, we all kind of pick and choose from one side of the hour. But a lot of us just decide we're going to pick a team,
Yeah.
and I'm going to go down with this team, no matter what. Everything this team says is right, and whatever your team says is wrong. And yeah, when it's interesting when you just like you because you have you meet somebody from Iran, uh, and you have, and this goes with anybody who comes from a different culture, a different country. It's just normal to have kind of a preconceived notion of what they might be like, or a bias, either positively or negatively, about certain aspects of who they are. And when you drop all that, you just meet people and just treat people as individuals instead of as part of a group.
Yeah.
That is where I think you really learn and things more, and you grow, and you understand this. People are with all our differences, we're more alike than we are different.
Yeah. Everybody knows that.
And what you end up hating is a portion of yourself if you just subscribe to this kind of groupthink mentality where everybody's in this camp. You just look at people as conglomerations of a group instead of as individuals, and I think that's where we get off track most of the time.
Well, there you have it. Thank you, Philosopher Dave.
That's what I do. That's what I'm here for.
Do some news here, and we'll see about what goes on with that.
All right, let's get into it. Too much screen time for young people could lead to health problems as adults, according to a New Zealand study that began back in 1973. This is a 50-year study encompassing, TV, and now as we get into the smartphone screens, all that stuff. Children and teenagers who spent the most time watching TV had less efficient oxygen use during exercise, higher blood pressure, and higher rates of obesity in adulthood. Kids who watched too much TV also had poor eating habits, which of course obviously contributes to poor health into adulthood. There is the correlation, really. It's not necessarily just the screen time, whether you're talking your smartphone or the TV back when we were kids. It's more or less if you're not getting out and doing other things too. If you're not you got to take mental breaks from this, and you got to get. I hate to sound like my parents back in the 70s or 80s. You got to get outside. You got to go. You got to do physical things, and that's good. And that's true for adults too. I mean, a lot of us are just pure hypocrites. So we put limits on our kids, but meanwhile we're just like this.
Oh yeah.
That's the way 90% of society is now. So again, it's not just the kids that are having this issue. It's the adults too. So
there you have it.
Just keep that in mind. Twitter. Hey, speaking of your phone, Twitter has changed its logo. Elon Musk made this switch just after midnight, and X has replaced the famous blue burr that has adorned the site since its inception back in 2006. And Musk, of course, also founded SpaceX. He also founded a startup called X.com back in 1999. So he kind of has an X fixation. Obviously, this is a branding thing. I don't know what good it really does. It could be part of his Asperger's. I like just like X's. I don't know. I'm just speculating. It's just one of those interesting, weird billionaire things like Zuckerberg did with Meta. Like nobody calls it Meta. You can brand it as Meta, but it's still Facebook. Twitter is still Twitter, even though you got the X. I just think it kind of confuses people. And I'm not sure that it does anything, but hey, these guys are billionaires for a reason. So far
Amen.
be it for me to question any of this shit.
That's
So,
right.
anyway, finally, you are going to want to slow it down through at least one Muskegon neighborhood. Roosevelt Park has seen a massive increase in patrolling, and with that, a skyrocketing number of speeding tickets. Citations are up, not 100, not 200, not 300, 362%
Wow.
from just 1 year ago. Put the brakes on in Roosevelt Park if you don't want your insurance rates to go up.
So here's the thing.
There you go.
Being the former assistant mayor of Roosevelt Park,
I was going to say, yes, Andy O.
everybody
You can
wants it
speak
to
to
be.
this.
Here's the thing. There's a fight in Roosevelt Park over the speed limits.
Mhm.
If Roosevelt Park were to do a speed study on those streets, which is what's got to happen to adjust the speeds, the state's going to increase it. Period. It's not going to be 25 miles an hour anymore. From there, if that goes on, well, we're going to have to deal with faster speeds from the state. That's how it's controlled. Everybody wants to scream and holler about driving 25 miles an hour and getting tickets. Well, slow down. And that's just the way it is, right? This fight has gone on for years. And I'm sorry you're getting tickets in Roosevelt Park. Slow down. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, it's one of those.
And I'll tell you what, you get to, we move from Roosevelt Park to Cedar Creek Township, and up around here, up around Holton and all that stuff, they're fighting around about stop signs, which are in place, and you're supposed to stop, and people hate it because it's a pain in the ass, and supposedly it's dead railroad tracks that they're stopping by and all this other kind of stuff. But guess what? There's a goddamn stop sign there. Stop. That's the law.
Or just kind of roll.
That's what you
just
have
kind
to
of
do.
Roll through it.
It's not going to kill you to stop at a stop sign and pretend that somehow because you live up in Holton, you're absolved from having to stop at a stop sign.
Yeah, this is
we
my.
live
this
here.
Is my
we
feeling.
know this and we know that.
Okay, I will say
you know
this.
What? It's a traffic sign. It doesn't matter where you live.
Right.
It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how well you know your turf.
Right.
Stop at the stop sign.
It's an interesting thing because I roll stop signs all the time now. I mean,
Right.
I do it all the time. If I look, I'm coming slow, and I look both ways, and I don't see anybody coming, boom, I go through. Now, technically, I didn't stop, and you could technically give me a ticket for that, and I technically wouldn't have a legal light. Now, I obeyed the spirit of the law. I didn't obey the letter of the law. Again, I'm very pro. I said this, I believe, a week or two ago. Whenever, I'm very pro ignoring dumb statutes and laws, like no turn on reds. I turn on red all the time.
Right.
All the time. You ignore those things because they're dumb. But at the same time, I also understand that it is the law here, and if you ticket me, I'm going to pay the ticket. You got me.
There you go.
But that does, and that's just you should not. I mean, I understand the bitching about it. I get that. I get it's dumb. But at the same time, this is the law.
I'll back it down. I'll back it down to this kind of simplicity for you. If your kid has a coat and you want him to hang it up on the hook, you ask him to hang it up on the hook. If there's a stop sign there, stop at the stop sign. It's really not that difficult. If your kid comes in day after day and throws his coat on the floor, sooner or later the parent's going to say something, right?
Yes.
Because it's the rules. A rule is a rule. Hang your coat up on the hook.
Yes.
Stop at that stop sign.
Again,
there's really no difference.
If there's nobody there, okay. First of all, you got to have your head on a swivel. Always have your head on a swivel anyway. Just you don't have to really stop. You you can coast through.
Okay.
So there's a happy medium. Sports. Tigers beat San Diego 3-1. Cubs win. They hammer St. Louis 7-2. Just 5 days away from the opening of training camp for your Detroit Lions.
Oh, who cares?
That's sports.
Thank God I made it back for that news. All right. This one's a gimme. This is a freebie for Dave. You're at 43,600 in the hole. Soon to be 43,400.
Okay.
Created to show girls that they could be anything they wanted to be, this toy viewed to some skepticism at the 1959 Toy Fair.
I'm gonna assume the girls could be anything they wanted to be.
Anything they want to be.
I got to assume it's Barbie.
Give it to Dave. Barbie. Look at you. What was your first
There you
Barbie?
go. I didn't have. Oh, you know what? I used to. My sister, I think it was Lisa or Sarah, got the Barbie and Ken together, and then they had like the Corvette, and I beat the shit out of that thing. I used to make it go over jumps and stuff. It was that Corvette. I mean, that was I didn't. Of course I wasn't playing with the dolls, but I was
Of course
crashing
not.
that Corvette. I was crashing that Corvette into everything.
You went
That
to
was
bed with
awesome,
Ken at night, didn't you? You said, Ken, when I grow up, I want to
dude.
be you. I want to
Dude,
be you,
no.
Ken.
The
I want
hell's
to be so
Get out of
gorgeous
here.
and perfect,
Stop with
and
that.
everybody's
Stop
gonna
it.
love me.
Although you know what, Ken was a handsome fella.
He was a good-looking dude.
He didn't really need the neckerchief, but he was a handsome dude. Good
Dave, have
hair,
yourself a great Monday. We'll see you back here
nice
tomorrow.
tan. See ya.
Happy Monday, Muskegon. Hope you all enjoyed your weekend. This week will be a pretty hot and humid one, so let's take a look at your forecast, brought to you by Trinity Health. Starting off with your weather headlines, we will have a very warm and humid week ahead. Like I said, dew points for the most part will be well into the 60s, if not the 70s by the later in the week, which means we'll have heat indices likely well into the 90s for much of the week, especially later on. It looks mostly dry though, at least for Monday and Tuesday, with a small daily shower chance for Wednesday through Saturday, but most of those are less than 30%. Temperature-wise today, we will begin that warm-up with temperatures well into the 80s. Mid to upper 80s are expected across the county, with temperatures well into the 70s at the beach. Dew points also will be on the rise after having a really not so humid weekend. Unfortunately, the dew points will be increasing, with dew points well into the 60s for today, so it will feel a little bit humid to even uncomfortable at times throughout the afternoon. And if you have any plans of going to Lake Michigan today, it will be a wonderful beach day with mostly sunny skies to partly cloudy skies with a low swim risk with waves of less than a foot. So just a great day to go to the water, and water temperatures are still well into the 60s, if not even in the lower 70s in some spots. So for your Monday, expect a high of 86 with mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies with the humidity returning as well, unfortunately, once again. Overnight will only cool down to 63, as that humidity will keep our overnight lows a little bit on the warmer side. And then the lows get really warm by the time we get to Tuesday night, and even pretty much for the rest of the week, with lows in the 70s for the most part. And humidity will stick around all the way until Sunday, when that will finally depart, probably early next week. And like I said, Wednesday through Saturday has at least a small chance of rain, but most of the time it looks dry. And that's your hot and humid forecast, brought to you by Trinity Health on the Muskegon channel. And I'm Cole Woods Weather, and enjoy your Monday.